Queen Alina was sad. Her parents, the king and queen, were gone. They vanished without a trace. Now Alina was the queen of Eloria. Eloria was a beautiful kingdom. It had green hills, sparkling rivers, and a magical forest. Alina lived in a grand castle. It was made of white stone. It had tall towers and colorful flags. But Alina felt alone. She missed her parents terribly. She didn't feel like a real queen. The castle was full of people. They bowed to Alina. They called her Your Majesty, but no one understood her sadness. Alina wished she could talk to her parents. She wished they could guide her. One day, Alina was in her room. She found a small wooden box hidden in her mother's jewelry box. It had beautiful carvings of flowers and birds. Alina opened it slowly. Inside, she found a letter. The letter was addressed to Alina. It was written in her mother's handwriting. Alina's heart beat faster. She carefully unfolded the letter and began to read. The letter spoke of a magical crystal. The crystal was hidden in the Whispering Woods. It was a place of ancient magic and mystery. The letter said the crystal held the key to Alina's true purpose. It could help her find her way. Alina was both scared and excited. She knew she had to find the crystal. It was her only hope. She decided to embark on a secret quest. She couldn't tell anyone. It had to be her own journey. Alina changed into simple clothes. She didn't want anyone to recognize her. She packed a small bag with food and water. Then, with a deep breath, she slipped out of the castle. Alina was alone, but she was determined. She was ready to face the unknown. The Whispering Woods were dark and mysterious. Sunlight struggled to reach the forest floor. Strange sounds filled the air. Alina felt a shiver of fear, but she pressed on. She knew she had to be brave. Alina walked deeper into the woods. The trees grew taller and closer together. Shadows danced around her. She felt lost and alone. Suddenly she heard a voice. "Hoo-hoo! Who disturbs the peace of my forest?" Alina looked up. She saw a large owl perched on a branch. Its eyes glowed with an eerie light. The owl spread its wings. It was even bigger than Alina thought. "Don't be afraid, little one," the owl said. Its voice was deep and calming. "I am Athena, the wise owl. What brings you to the Whispering Woods?" Alina hesitated. Should she trust this owl? She decided to tell Athena about the letter and the crystal. Athena listened patiently. When Alina finished, the owl nodded slowly. "The crystal is well hidden," Athena said. "To find it, you must solve my riddle. Only then will I guide you further." Alina listened carefully to Athena's riddle. It was about the forest and its secrets. Alina thought hard. She used her knowledge of Eloria and its nature to find the answer. Finally, she smiled. She knew the answer. Alina told Athena the answer. The owl nodded approvingly. "You are wise, young queen," Athena said. "Follow the path to the east. There you will meet another who will test your worth." And with a flap of its powerful wings, Athena disappeared into the trees. Alina followed the path. Soon she came to a clearing. A small red fox sat in the center. It looked up at Alina with wary eyes. The fox was trembling slightly. Alina approached cautiously. "Hello," she said softly. The fox didn't run away, but it didn't come closer either. "Athena the owl sent me," Alina explained. "She said you have a test for me." The fox looked at her for a moment longer, then it spoke in a voice so soft Alina could barely hear it. "I am Flicker," the fox said. "To pass my test, you must show me bravery. You must face your fear." Flicker led Alina to a dark and narrow cave. The entrance was almost completely hidden by vines. Alina felt a shiver of fear run down her spine. The darkness seemed to whisper with unseen dangers, but she remembered Flicker's words. She had to be brave. Alina took a deep breath and entered the cave. She couldn't see a thing. The air was thick and damp. She stumbled over rocks and roots. Just when she thought she couldn't go on, she saw a faint light ahead. As Alina drew closer, the light grew brighter. Soon she was in a large cavern. In the center of the cavern, a tiny mouse sat on a glowing mushroom. The mouse was dressed in a tiny suit and hat. He looked up at Alina with bright, intelligent eyes. "Welcome, Queen Alina," the mouse squeaked. "I am Pip, the keeper of the hidden paths. To reach your destination, you must solve my riddle." Pip puffed out his chest importantly. "Only the cleverest can find the way." Pip's riddle was the trickiest yet. It spoke of illusions and hidden truths. Alina paced back and forth, thinking hard. She remembered how scared she had been in the dark cave. She realized that her fear had almost blinded her to the light. Suddenly, Alina understood. The answer wasn't about seeing with her eyes, but with her heart. She told Pip her answer. The little mouse beamed. "Very good, Your Majesty. You have a keen mind and a brave spirit." Pip hopped off his mushroom. "Follow me," he squeaked. Pip led Alina through a maze of tunnels. They twisted and turned, sometimes leading uphill, sometimes down. Finally, they reached a large cavern. In the center of the cavern, nestled amongst glowing crystals, sat the most beautiful crystal Alina had ever seen. The crystal pulsed with a soft white light. Alina felt drawn to it. She slowly approached the crystal and reached out to touch it. As her fingers brushed against its smooth surface, a jolt of energy surged through her. Alina closed her eyes as the cave around her disappeared. When she opened them again, she was standing in a beautiful meadow bathed in sunlight. Animals of all shapes and sizes surrounded her. They looked at her with trust and love in their eyes. Then Alina saw her parents. They were smiling down at her. "Alina," her mother said, her voice filled with warmth and pride, "you have found your way. The crystal has shown you your true purpose," her father added. "You are the guardian of Eloria, not just its ruler. You are here to protect the balance of nature, to ensure peace and harmony for all living things." Alina felt a surge of understanding. She realized that her quest wasn't just about finding the crystal, it was about finding herself. She had faced her fears, used her intelligence, and shown compassion for all creatures. In doing so, she had discovered her true strength. The vision faded, and Alina found herself back in the crystal cave. The crystal pulsed one last time before its light dimmed. Alina knew what she had to do. She had a kingdom to protect, a balance to maintain, and a legacy to uphold. She was ready to be the queen Eloria needed her to be. Alina retraced her steps through the tunnels, her heart filled with newfound purpose. Pip and Flicker guided her back to the entrance of the cave. Athena the owl was waiting for her. "You have done well, Queen Alina," Athena hooted softly. "Eloria is fortunate to have you as its guardian." Alina emerged from the Whispering Woods a changed queen. She was no longer the scared girl who had entered the forest. She was strong, confident, and filled with a deep love for her kingdom and all its creatures. When she returned to the castle, she was greeted with relief and joy. But Alina knew that her work was just beginning. She had a lot to do to ensure the safety and prosperity of her kingdom. Alina immediately began implementing changes. She established new laws to protect the forests and rivers. She created programs to help the less fortunate, and she always made time to listen to the concerns of her people, both human and animal. Word of Alina's wisdom and compassion spread throughout the land. Eloria flourished under her reign. The kingdom became a beacon of peace and prosperity, a shining example of what could be achieved when humans and nature lived in harmony. Alina never forgot the lessons she had learned on her quest. She often returned to the Whispering Woods, seeking the counsel of her animal friends, and she always remembered the words of her parents, "You are the guardian of Eloria, not just its ruler." As Queen Alina grew older, she shared the story of her quest with the children of Eloria. She taught them the importance of courage, kindness, and respect for all living things. And so, the legacy of the Guardian Queen lived on, ensuring that Eloria would remain a land of peace and wonder for generations to come.